Get a load of this! Move! You can't win. You don't know when to quit. How's that? Gonna be sore tomorrow.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mangs, and today I welcome you guys to yet another Fire Emblem character spotlights. The Echoes train rolls ever onwards, and today we're heading into a shady bar at a port town to take a look at everyone's favorite shady sellsword, the master of the finisher, Saber.
Think twice before getting on my bad side.
Saber is a 34-year-old man hailing from Rigel. He grew up in a village with his family, including his sister, who apparently looks quite a lot like Celica. Before his life as a sellsword in Sofia, he served as a soldier in the Regalian army. We don't know exactly why he left, but apparently he didn't like his time in Rigel all that much. Saber's story prior to meeting Celica is mostly unknown, and what little we know is mostly rumors and tales. According to Jesse, Saber is quite a legendary character, with countless tales describing his prowess in battle, as well as his shady character. He was also apparently quite the skirt chaser, and has left countless heartbroken women in his wake. When Celica arrived at the port town, seeking passage to the mainland on her journey to the Mila Shrine, the locals told her to hire Saber as her guide and bodyguard, since the waters had become infested with pirates. Saber initially thought Celica was nothing but a rich, pampered daddy's girl, with no idea what she was getting into, but she offered him a valuable golden dagger, and thus he accepted her offer, believing it to be an easy mission with a quick payoff. In Gaiden, this piece of Saber's half-body is the only high-quality artwork available online, at least that I could find. He is depicted as a roguish swashbuckler with red hair and an eye patch. He appears broad-shouldered and strongly built, despite not revealing a good view of his entire figure. Echoes, Saber has arguably received one of the best redesigns in the entire game, now appearing as a handsome, leather-clad sellsword. He's sporting a beard and slicked-back red hair. His brown leather armor consists of a vest, a belt, and high boots. He still has his iconic eye patch and is depicted holding a scimitar. He is also considered to be one of the best-looking male characters in Echoes. Being one of the more adult characters in Echoes at 34 years old, Saber has already earned quite a reputation prior to joining Celica's party, and has a lot of experience under his belt. While Saber initially treats Celica a bit poorly, he's shown to have a good heart, and possesses wisdom beyond his years, revealing a rich life filled with experience. Unlike Celica, who is young and naive, Saber is much more grounded in reality, with a pragmatic view on life that reflects his dangerous lifestyle. This is easily seen when Celica attempts to dissuade a gang of attacking pirates at sea, thinking she can solve the conflict peacefully with words, while Saber simply readies his scimitar and tells her there's no reasoning with people like that. One of the possible reasons Saber takes such a liking to Celica is because she reminds him of his younger sister. This explains why he shows so much loyalty towards her, going above and beyond to protect her. Even after they reach the Mila Shrine, which is where Saber initially agreed to escort her, he sticks with her, continuing to serve as her bodyguard and advisor. Despite his kind-hearted nature, Saber is not known for his sweet-talking, and his way of speaking is brutal, coarse, and honest. He has no issues calling Celica out on her stupid decisions. He also has a rather dry sense of humor, and loves drinking, gambling, and fighting. From this spotlight and onwards, I will now be starting a new segment called Trivia, where I note funny, interesting, weird, and obscure facts about the characters being spotlighted. Most of these are taken from the wiki, but some are also derived from other sources. Saber is the only male character in Gaiden who can use the Seraphim spell. In Gaiden, Saber was actually an optional character that could be skipped if Celica did not opt to speak to him at the port town. Saber shares his Japanese voice actor, Takehito Koyasu, with Awakening's Lonku and Validar, and Fate's Niles. In Echoes, Saber has a special quote if Celica dies. In Saber's ending, he marries a woman whose name is not mentioned. In Katsuyuki Osaki's illustration, it is said that Jenny develops feelings for him at some points. Some people therefore speculate that they got married.
Looking for a good time here. Come on! Anyone? Hello?
In Gaiden, Saber is the first physical combat unit to join Celica's party, and he is a very nice addition to your team, as he fills exactly the role your group is missing, a defensive wall. With his incredibly high defense growth of 40%, the second highest in the entire game after Est, Saber provides much needed bulk to your party, and for the first couple of maps, he's pretty much the only thing standing between your squishy mages and a bunch of very angry pirates. Saber is a lot more than just defense, however. With his impressive base speed of 10, he will pretty much double anything he comes in contact with, and with very solid strength and skill, he will consistently land many critical hits and be a complete one-man wrecking crew on the many boat maps to come in the second act. Saber also has a remarkably high resistance of 6, and this is probably to make sure he doesn't get completely shattered when going up against enemy wizards. While no units in Gaiden have an actual resistance growth, Saber's high base resistance will only go up when he eventually becomes a Dread Fighter, making him an absolute mage slayer. In Gaiden, Dread Fighters can promote into villagers, creating the so-called endless villager loop, allowing them to cycle through promotions multiple times. This allows Saber to be reclassed just like the other villagers, allowing for a lot of versatility should you want it. Though being Gaiden, this will be a very slow process that will likely require a lot of grinding. Overall, Saber's growth rates aren't the best, but this is Gaiden, so that's to be expected. His high bases and solid class, however, makes him one of the better units in Celica's group. He starts out strong, and he will stay consistently strong throughout the entire game. In Echoes, Saber's base stats have actually remained completely identical to that of Gaiden, but his growth rates have been increased ever so slightly to keep up with the rest of the characters. His role in Celica's party, however, has not changed at all, and everything I said about him in Gaiden applies to him as a unit in Echoes as well. He starts out strong and provides much needed bulk to Celica's squishy group of spellcasters. Saber starts out with a golden dagger given to him by Celica. You don't actually need to keep this on him, despite it being his payment story-wise. It has low might, but decently high hit rates, and will eventually allow him to use the Plentitude combat art, which is like Soul but on demand. A self-healing Saber can actually be very useful in the early game, as Jenny may not be nearby to patch him up, especially before she picks up physics anyway. Keep the dagger on him and he will eventually be able to earn provisions too, which will help your other units out. Most players prefer to take the dagger off him and give it to Celica, as it can later be forged into the beloved Sophia, a very strong weapon exclusive to her. Besides, the leather shield may be more useful on Saber, as he's going to be consistently tanking multiple hits on the front lines, and that extra +3 defense is really going to help him out a lot. Once Saber has gained some levels though, he will eventually get so tanky that a good weapon is probably a better fit for him. The Holy Sword is a good choice if you want him to be the main Terror Slayer on your team, but where he really shines is with a Brave Sword, as it, combined with his high skill, will make his crit rate go through the roof. Combat arts will sadly never be super viable for Saber, since he naturally doubles almost everything he goes up against, thus you'll often find that the combat art seldom increases his damage output, and that regular attacks will simply do the job better. This isn't a bad thing, it's just a sad fact when it comes to really fast characters in Echoes. In Echoes, Dread Fighters are still able to perform the Villager Loop. This means that using a Villager's Fork on Saber is a bit wasteful, since he can promote into one naturally anyway, though it does take him a few levels worth of experience to get there, meaning you won't see it happen until the mid-game at the earliest, unless you grind like crazy at the graveyards. This allows you to have a lot of flexibility in what you can promote Saber into the mid to late game, and you may not necessarily want him to stay as a Dread Fighter, especially considering you got so many other viable Dread Fighters in Celica's group, with Kamui, Jesse, Dean, and even potentially Atlas. Though, if you do keep him as a Dread Fighter, he's going to be very useful, as Celica faces off against a lot of mages in the late game. As far as reclassing goes, Saber excels pretty much at every class you promote him into, being a viable archer, cavalier, or even a mage, as he picks up Seraphim at level 5, making him into a tanky, monster-slaying spellcaster. Regardless of what you choose to do with him, he is going to be one of the more useful members of your team. He'll be a protective father figure who keeps your squishy magic units safe, and he'll be sure to finish anyone coming his way in style. Saber style.
Long as this stays lively, I don't give a damn about the details.
Thank you for watching this Fire Emblem character spotlight. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and a comment, it really helps out the channel a lot. I would like to give a very special shout out to 2 Fire Emblem themed YouTube channels that I visit very frequently to get valuable footage for my spotlights. Just One Gamer as well as Phoenix Master 1 both uploads a lot of different compilations of things like critical hit quotes, support conversations, and other very useful footage that makes the spotlights more visually pleasing to watch. I will throw a link in the video description if you guys want to go check them out. If you make Fire Emblem videos yourself, these channels are a very valuable resource, so you should definitely go subscribe to them both. I would also like to thank my other Patreon supporters as well. Anyone of bronze tier or higher will automatically be listed at the end of my spotlights and certain other videos. I am very grateful for your continued support. Thank you so much. The beautiful art and design you see created in this video was made by my designer Mina Tangerina, and my script editors Nasiro and Sonagi helped me fine-tune the script for this spotlight. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Mangs, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye!